Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I think Anders here on Twitter has pretty much summed it up with this GIF image here. Breaking, the Federal Reserve has now cut interest rates by 50 basis points for the first time in 4 years. And so guys, this news just came out yesterday afternoon. Federal Reserve has slashed interest rates by half a point, an aggressive start to its first easing campaign in 4 years. Some are suggesting that this is going to be good for cryptocurrency. Others are not so sure. And guys, we're going to get into this. Is this good for the economy? Is this good for the stock market, for cryptocurrencies? Are we going to make money? How is this all going to play out? And what are our best predictions here? So let's get into some of this. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday enacted its first interest rate cut since the early days of the beer flu pandemic, slicing half a percentage point off benchmark rates in an effort to head off a slowdown in the labor market. So it's looking like at this point they are realizing they can ease off a little bit because markets are looking a little better with both the job pictures and inflation softening. The central bank's Federal Reserve Open Market Committee chose to lower its key overnight borrowing rate by half a percentage point or 50 basis points. This always used to get me kind of confused. What does this mean, 50 basis points? It's basically just 0.5%, affirming market expectations that had recently shifted from an outlook for a cut half that size. Outside of the emergency rate reductions during the beer flu, the last time the FOMC cut by half a point was in 2008 during a global financial crisis. The decision lowers the federal fund rates to range between 4.75 and 5%, while the rate sets short-term borrowing costs for banks. It spills over into multiple consumer products such as mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards. So that is definitely going to make some people happy who do have debt currently, if it is in the form of a mortgage, an auto loan, a credit card. In addition to this reduction, though, the committee indicated through its dot plot the equivalent of 50 more basis points of cuts by the end of the year, close to market pricing. The matrix of individual officials' expectations pointed to another full percentage point in cuts by the end of 2025. So we should be also looking into the future, guys, and half points in 2026. So that is basically the lowdown here. The long and the short of it, of course, this does affect, other countries' decisions for interest rate policy. Mr. Man here with the video clip of Jerome Powell with the announcement. Watch this.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Our economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. The labor market has cooled from its formerly overheated state. Inflation has eased substantially from a peak of 7% to an estimated 2.2% as of August. We're committed to maintaining our economy's strength by supporting maximum employment and returning inflation to our 2% goal. Today, the Federal Open Market Committee decided to reduce the degree of policy restraint by lowering our policy interest rate by a half percentage point. This decision reflects our growing confidence that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the labor market can be maintained in a context of moderate growth and inflation moving sustainably down to 2%.
So 50 basis points or 0.5%. The memes are just going wild over there on crypto Twitter. Of course, everybody wondering how this is going to affect the crypto market, specifically subjective views here pointing this out, okay? September 18th, 2024, which was just yesterday, we did get that 50 basis point rate cut. And guys, get this, back in 2007 on the same day, yes, September the 18th, 2007, we saw the exact same thing. Are they putting it in plain sight? Are they toying with us? Here's a chart, guys, showing us rate cuts from back in September of 2007. Do you guys remember what happened to the market back then? Well, if you don't, I'm going to remind you. John 1140 here also posting this, okay? September 18th, 2007, the S&P 500 fell about 54% in the next 372 days. So it took about a year. Just over a year for the S&P 500 to fall over 50%. Unemployment rose another 5.3%, and then we were in a recession. So guys, how's this going to affect? How could it affect the market moving forward? Well, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. There are two sides of this coin. We got Jerome Powell here saying that, because the economy has recovered since the beer flu and, things are looking a lot better over the last 4 years, that this is the time now to cut rates. But is it going to play out this way? Are we in for something unexpected first? I don't know. Vandell here pointing this out. The Fed just cut 50 basis points, exactly what I predicted. The reason I had a feeling this was inevitable this year, despite many experts saying it wouldn't happen, was because the government needs to refinance its debt every 4 years, and they can't afford to do it with interest rates as high as they were. Follow the money. And then he posts down here, money printing is likely going to be coming soon. And guys, this was his prediction here. Here's what's going to happen. Rate cuts are coming in 2024 because the Fed wants rates lower to refinance debt. They're also going to pump liquidity into the markets, so stocks and crypto will rise like crazy. Definitely have a plan. And for those of you guys interested in what I'm doing this bull run, you can follow me over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I'm going to be putting another update out this week. My thoughts, taking a look at different variables, looking to see how we can pinpoint this market. And, now that these interest rate cuts have come in, we are kind of at the mercy of the entire market. I think we got to look at the macro picture. And again, things are changing left, right, and center. So if you guys want to follow me, see what I'm doing this time around during this crypto bull run, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Back to Vandell, though, for a second here. Okay, Vandell saying that back in January of 2001, we did see a 50 basis point rate cut, so 0.5%. Then in September of 2007, which I was just discussing, we saw the same thing. March the 3rd, 2020, the same thing. And then today, again, September the 18th, 2024, again, 0.5%. Each time has resulted in a crash after, and then the long-term rise begins. So are we to expect the same kind of thing, guys? I have the S&P 500 up here. And first, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 just for history purposes. And then we're going to get into crypto, of course. This is very important to take a look at, I think, with regards to this context. So just going to refer back and forth from Vandell's tweet here, January 3rd, 2001. And I just have the S&P 500 up here. The last time they cut rates, or the first time within the last 25 years or so, was in and around here. And you guys can see what happened to the S&P 500 after that. Okay, now I guess I should also put up this date range tool here to show you guys how many days it took to start to rebound. This was 804 days, so quite a while. Okay, then we have September the 18th, 2007, another 0.5%. September 18th, 2007, which would bring us in and around here, somewhere in and around here. Okay, guys, after that, of course, boom, mortgage crisis, and then how many days to rebound? If I take it from there, roughly took about 539 days before we rebounded. Then we're looking at March the 3rd, 2020. Okay, so getting into a more recent time frame here. Of course, we did have the beer flu, the shutdown, and this was almost seeming like a black swan event. But if we were to actually just take a look at where March the 3rd was, it was actually when we had already started crashing here. So for this particular point, guys, it only took another month, not even a month, 21 days before we started to rebound back up. And so now we're in this time frame here, guys, September 18th, 2024. What are we going to see next? So based on, what we've seen in the past, I guess I should also just put this arrow down here. We did see that crash again. The beer flu. These two particular ones from early on, the recovery was quite slow. This black swan event during March of 2020 did create a great atmosphere for crypto to really rise. So are we going to see something happen like this, and is it going to be quick? I think that is the bigger point here that we really should consider with regards to cryptocurrency, because I know cryptocurrency is likely first and foremost on all your mind. This rate cut, guys, actually gave crypto a boost. So Bitcoin is bullish. Okay, let me throw this on the hourly just to show you guys. Over the last 12 hours or so, we have seen Bitcoin rising again. So that is positive news. This has given the cryptocurrency community a good reason to continue to invest. We can also see the let's look at the total 2 market, guys. And total 2 is also looking very, very bullish for cryptocurrency. So this is the hourly. Let me just throw that on the daily. And over the last 2 days now, we are seeing renewed interest in cryptocurrency for the altcoin market as well. XRP, just kind of hovering in and around 58 cents. But even XRP has been going up over the last few days. You guys can see now we are in neutral sentiment. So definitely people are getting excited. You can see the green here on the chart too. Cryptocurrencies like Solana are up 7.33. XRP is up 2.17% since yesterday in the last 24 hours. Some in double digits, guys. So this is definitely getting cryptocurrency people excited. But now the question remains, are we going to see a dip? And will this be a temporary blip before the market starts ripping to the upside? So again, bring up the S&P 500. When interest rates were cut in the past, we have seen that huge rebound, that huge surge to the upside. I guess the question is, how long is it going to take? And, I have a feeling we're probably going to see something similar. These calls for lower prices for Bitcoin, lower prices for altcoins. It could happen still. The positive side, guys, from smoke here, yes, upcoming international rate cuts by central banks will benefit both gold and cryptocurrencies. Monetary policy from central banks directly influence liquidity flows in assets like cryptocurrency, positioning digital assets for a strong rebound as this cycle of rate cuts unfold. So that is exactly what this report did say here. As you guys can see, 2024 is poised to be a landmark year for virtual assets. And down here they have the expectations of declining interest rates brings liquidity back to risk-on assets, benefiting cryptocurrencies and other risk-on assets as well. So liquidity back to the market, guys. This is probably why we're seeing sentiment rise a little bit here. The metrics are looking very positive for you and I. And also remember this one, courtesy of Marty Party here. FTX will redistribute that's a billion with a B, $16 billion to their creditors in Q4 of 2024 as well. That's in 2 weeks' time. And guys, they're going to be distributing that money in dollars, US dollars, from what I see here. Most of that liquidity will come right back into crypto. So another case here for a bullish crypto explosion in Q4 of 2024. So this is now getting me scratching my head because if we do see that crypto explosion, if we do see all these things come to pass, it could be that we do see a quick boom, V-bottom, and then move out of that, breaking up, making new highs for cryptocurrencies. I just have the Bitcoin chart up here, but generally for all cryptocurrencies, we could see something like that. On top of which, Donald Trump is coming out and buying burgers with Bitcoin. This is just a video here. Donald Trump purchasing a burger with Bitcoin here, and he's got, I guess, his handlers or maybe the owners of the restaurant trying to. There you go. People are cheering there, trying to help him out with that. Basically, I don't know if it's a publicity stunt or not. Who am I kidding? It's definitely a publicity stunt. I think it does make, crypto holders in the United States very confident, though, that the tides are going to be turning. On top of which, we recently did just get this piece of news as well. Louisiana state government will start accepting Bitcoin as a payment method. So this just came out. They did just announce an innovative transition with the state government's plan to accept cryptocurrency as a valid form of payment, allowing the integration of digital currency into Louisiana's public operations. So Louisiana residents will now have the option to pay for state services from their private secure crypto wallets. These popular types of cryptocurrencies will be accepted, so Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning and USDC coin. I guess Bitcoin Lightning, I guess that means the infrastructure there. In fact, the first cryptocurrency payment was made today at the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. A unique service converts incoming cryptocurrency payments, depositing US dollar amounts into state government accounts like a credit or debit card transaction. This service protects the state from previous worries about accepting cryptocurrency and promotes the adoption of new technologies in the state's infrastructure. One state at a time. I'm telling you, this is just, and I think there are other states too, if I'm not mistaken. I think, isn't Wyoming accepting cryptocurrencies? I don't know. If you guys do know, please do put it down in the comment section. By the way, I'm trying to get a handle on the comment section. I know I in the past, what I've done is I've just restricted all comments and just kind of manually gone through them, but that is very labor intensive and time consuming. I'm trying to find ways to get rid of these scammers, guys, in the comment section. It really is difficult, though, so bear with me. But I do read the comments, though, so please do put it down in the comment section if you guys have more information on this. So things are improving, I think. Dan Gallagher did make an appearance in front of Congress. He's the Chief Legal Compliance Officer of Corporate Affairs over there at Robinhood. And get this, guys, he was also an ex-SEC commissioner who is very critical of the SEC when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption, regulation, when it comes to the rules of the road and how they have been handling it. I wanted to play you guys a few clips of this. This is about 4.5 minutes. I'm just going to play you guys a couple of clips. Listen to this.
You may recall during that hearing, we discussed how securities that are not registered are impossible to be listed by a U.S. registered broker-dealer intending to market them to the public. Recently, Prometheum, a U.S. registered broker-dealer with significant ownership from investors with ties to the Chinese Communist Party and the first special purpose broker-dealer license in the U.S., has stated that it will treat Ether, Uniswap, and Arbitrum as crypto asset securities on its platform, despite the fact that the SEC has effectively acknowledged that Ether is not a security and the remaining assets have not been deemed securities by a court. Mr. Gallagher, can Robinhood list digital asset securities and digital asset non-securities on the same platform if there is uncertainty about whether a given token is a security?
Thank you for the question, Congressman. The answer is no. And that actually was one of the nuances that we requested relief from the Commission for with respect to our application to come in and register a special purpose broker. The special purpose broker letter right now is limited to so-called digital asset securities and will not allow that broker to handle non-securities. I don't know the details of the Prometheum model. It vexes me a bit, given the limitation within the four corners of the letter itself.
So this former SEC commissioner is confused why the SEC is doing this, not making it very clear. All crypto assets are obviously very different in scope. And so, to say that some are allowed on the platform and others are not just seems a little ridiculous. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit and play you guys another clip.
Is it possible for Robinhood or any U.S. broker-dealer to list unregistered securities for the general public without exemptive relief from the SEC?
It's impossible right now for a regulated broker to deal in both, quite frankly, what the SEC deems to be digital asset securities, as well as just non-security digital assets. The custody rules, the net capital rules, the customer protection rules, none of them accommodate the blockchain infrastructure. So a rulemaking is simply required. The idea of coming in and register is it's a falsehood.
So basically, our hunch was correct. The SEC has been giving the crypto community the runaround this entire time. The idea of coming in and registering is a falsehood. So hopefully this gets rectified. I mean, now with the Fed cutting rates, Q4 2024 is shaping up, well, at least starting to shape up, to be a very, very interesting quarter when it comes to cryptocurrency. Guys, I also happen to see this too from Smoke. BlackRock and the reset, a generational opportunity. You notice the language they're using here, guys. Reading their sentiments in these confidential publications is incredibly revealing. They're not holding back. This brings me back, guys, to this macro outlook of, are they trying to crash the system? Are they trying to scare people out to usher in this new financial system? Are these rate cuts going to come more furiously? Are we going to see a decline, more similar to what we saw back in 2001 and 2007, right? Where we do see these markets really kind of crash and take their time before they rebound. But anyway, here's what Smoke's saying. Institutions are all speaking the same language, communicating in a consistent message. These are the very themes they're investing in, the unfiltered perspectives of smart money. They are actively capitalizing on opportunities the market presents, opportunities that remain completely invisible to the retail investor. But with a trained eye, one can connect the dots and decipher how these sophisticated players are operating in this elusive market. Remember, you don't have to believe. In fact, the less you do, the better it is for them. And so just take a look at some of the verbiage that they're using here. The Great Yield Reset. Okay, and do you remember this document, guys, from I think it was a couple of months ago? Welcome to the Great Rate Reset. So, Great Rate Reset, is this what we're seeing now? This highly anticipated cut will impact financial markets across sectors. The asset price movements in the first half were expected as the market awaited a clear stance from Jerome Powell. Now, with Fed rate cuts in place, growth trends for assets are expected to emerge across the financial landscape. In this new playing field, preparation and execution are key. So they've stated it right out here, guys. The Great Rate Reset. with the help of Fed rate cuts next year. We expect trend growth in 2024. But also, guys, on top of that, the great switch. Banks are transitioning to a blockchain-based infrastructure. Again, this is all from BlackRock and their collaborative partners here. Banks are transitioning to a blockchain-based infrastructure. Institutions are publishing reports actively preparing behind the scenes for the inevitable adoption of blockchain technology. Major companies are ready. Now the pressure is on banks to deliver. Soon they will make the switch. So the great switch, the great rate reset, and the great yield reset, guys, all part of the WEF's plan to great reset us, change the financial system. You guys can see down here, this is from the World Economic Forum, the great reset and blockchain. So blockchain has definitely been a part of this from day one. It's a multi-pronged system that's been in the works for a long time, but considering we're holding crypto assets that do have value, this is going to be our ace in the hole. So I guess now we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out, guys. Hopefully you have been investing in accumulating cryptocurrencies that make sense for your portfolio. For more information on what I'm doing, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.